Hello, Stitchy friends! How is everyone doing? Today is Tuesday, January 27th, 2026. My name is Andrew, this is my dog Winston, and this is the Runner Stitcher, my channel where I talk primarily about cross-stitch, also a little bit about running, and I'm here to share my weekly update with you of what stitching I have completed in the last week since we spoke. It has been quite a week. I know there's a lot of things going on in the world with the snowstorm and everything that's happening in Minnesota, and it's a really heavy time. There's just a lot happening. So I hope that you are able to find some peace during this time. I hope that your stitching is bringing you comfort. And if you're in the middle of all the snow and wintry mix, I hope that you are staying warm and that you still have power. And yeah, it's just a crazy weather time right now. Even here in Florida, we are having cold temperatures. Yesterday, it dropped 30 degrees within 4 hours. At lunchtime yesterday, it was 72 degrees, and by 5:30, it had dropped down to like 40 some degrees. It was really cold. It was a huge drop in temperature. So this morning when I went for my run, I did 3.5 miles this morning, and it felt like 23 degrees. That's what the weather said. So definitely cold, but not as cold as some of you are experiencing in the single digits and even below. So anyway, I just hope you're all doing well as you can be and having the best week that's available to you this week, and that your stitching is bringing you comfort. So thank you so much for joining me today. I didn't mean to get into all that right here at the very beginning, but thank you so much for coming back and joining me. I do really appreciate it. And if you're a returning subscriber, thanks so much. We are in this together. We are going through this journey together, and I thank you for coming back. And if you are a new subscriber, we've had a handful of new people join in the last week. Thank you so much for coming along for the ride, and I hope you enjoy what you see each week. A lot of you have been asking, now that Flossmas is over, you've been feeling sorry for Winston, and he's not getting his treats, you say. I want to assure you that Winston is definitely getting his treats. He is getting almost daily treats from my mom while he's here, so he is doing fine. But I thought today, just as like a little special thing, I would just give him a treat in front of you so you can see that I'm not starving him of his treats. He is fine. But we will go ahead. Winston, would you like a treat today? Would you like a little treat? Can you high five? Oh, good boy. All right. So there is Winston getting his chicken treats. Rest assured that he is getting plenty while he's here, and he usually gets them after his evening walk, and he knows that my mom is the one that gives them to her. And so last night after the walk, she kind of forgot. She was in the kitchen doing things, and he went up to her and was like scratching at her leg, like, hello, you forgot about me. It was very cute. But yeah, he's getting his treats. The only other housekeeping thing I wanted to talk about today was the Bee Queen winner. So on my last video, I was giving away the chart for the Bee Queen from the Tiny Modernist. Here's what this looks like. And I told you to use the keyword sun. We had 110 comments for people who had entered the giveaway, so thank you for that. And I'm going to announce the winner. So the winner is Carol Ann Lussenden 6156. I'll put a picture of the comment up here. She just said the word sun, and that's all she needed. So Carol, congratulations, you are the winner of this pattern. If you could go ahead and send me an email to therunnerstitcher@gmail.com, and send me your mailing address, I will be happy to get this in the mail to you. And I hope you enjoy stitching it as much as I did, because it is a wonderful, wonderful piece. So again, Carol Ann Lussenden 6156, you are the winner. And I think that's kind of all I've had to get started this morning. So let's just jump right into the WIPs this week. I've got I've got 5 WIPs to share with you today, most of which you know what they will be. So there's one that I haven't worked on in a little while, but we'll get into that in a little bit. The first one I want to share with you is Saga. This is from Long Dog Samplers, and here is what this looks like. Oops, there we go. Beautiful piece. You probably all have it memorized by now, but I will go ahead and pop a video in here of where I was when I started the week. Okay, here's my starting point for Saga for the week, and I'm just going to be focusing on this arch right here. So I'll probably start up here at the top and maybe bring it down on this side, and just kind of get that outline of the arch worked on now. So you will see it, how far I got. And this week I was actually able to get a decent number of stitches in, above my normal week. So typically I try to get 550 stitches in for the week. And this week I just kept working on it that day, and I ended up getting 785 stitches, putting it at 55.31%. So we are over 55%. Excuse me, Winston, I have to show Saga. Excuse me. He doesn't want me to show it apparently. So this is what Saga looks like so far. Oh, it's coming along so good. And I'm going to zoom in here now and show you the section that I worked on. So right here at the top of this arch, this is kind of where I began. So I brought this section down over here. I think I worked on this maybe a little bit. And yeah, that was probably the 700 stitches. I think I was maybe about halfway before up this arch. So I completed all of this over here in that section. And you can see the outline of that next arch is coming along pretty nicely. So I'll just have to bring this column down here and then connect it at the bottom. And that's probably what I'll still try to work on next week, because I do like to get sort of the bones of that arch completed before I work on the design in the middle. So that will be, yeah, that arch there. And this is stitched on a 36 count vintage country mocha. I'm using Silks for You PR207. Again, with the goal of completing this by Leap Day in 2028. So still have time. I'm still over halfway completed, and we're not quite at the 2-year mark yet. We're coming up on it though next month. So that is Saga. Hope you enjoyed the update. All right, and the next piece I've got for you is Treasury of Compassion. This is from Teresa Kogut, and this is part of the temperature stitching that I'm doing. So this was actually called for 4 days, 400 stitches. And I'll pop a video in here of where I was when I started the week. All right, here's my starting point for Treasury of Compassion. I am going to keep working in this section right here, and I'm going to try to bring this down a little bit further, but I might actually fill in this line of words as well, so that is complete. But you will see what I end up doing now. And again, with this one, I went a little above and beyond what was called for, and I actually got 585 stitches put into this piece. Again, I sort of had it out in an evening, and I just kept working on it. So here is what this looks like now. This is Treasury of Compassion from Teresa Kogut, and let's zoom in a little bit on what I worked on. So I was working on this side over here, and I brought this border all the way down to sort of match the side over here. I wanted to get them kind of even so that I had, yeah, it kind of in the right, yeah, so that they were even. But then when I got down this close here, I realized I'm so close to this little bird. Look at this little bird sitting on the branch. Is he not so cute? I absolutely love him. So when I realized I was getting close to the bird, I had to put it in. So I kind of just kept going there, added in some of the leaves and the bird in that section. I also added in the word compassion this time, which was a great word to be remembering this week. So that is the word compassion. So right now it says, eternal God in whom mercy is endless and the compassion inexhaustible. That's what it says so far, even though there's some words missing, and it still is a great sentiment. So each time I pull this out, I'm able to just kind of remember that, and it's really nice. So I'm happy to have one of those words, another word completed in that section. The words are really fun in this piece, and I think they go really, really quickly. So once I get the rest of the frame completed, that will be great. There's still a good chunk that goes underneath the bird here. I'll show you on the chart. So I am right here at this bird. So as you'll see, there's still a pretty decent chunk that goes underneath there in the corner. And then of course it mirrors it on the other side. But yeah, I'm making some good progress. This is a really lovely piece to stitch on. I'm really enjoying it. This is a 36 count unknown fabric, and I'm using the called for Valdani floss, which is, I always get the name of this wrong. It's like Golden Harvest or Autumn Gold, something like that. But it's a really, really lovely variegated floss. And yeah, now I have this cute little bird in, which is so fun. Sorry for all the shaking here. I'm trying to hold it a little bit steadier, but there we go. There's that cute little bird. So that is the update on Treasury of Compassion. And the next piece I worked on was the other temperature stitching piece, and that is the stack of pancakes. This is by SammyStitchesStore on Etsy. And as you know, I'm getting very, very close to a finish. But I will pop a video in here where I was when I started the week. Here's my starting point for a stack of pancakes. I'm going to be focusing in here on this diagonal right here. And I'm going to try my best. Hopefully this is focusing here. I'm going to try my best to complete this diagonal to get this all the way down. And then I'll just have a little bit to go on the side. And you will see it now. Now the goal for this piece in temperature stitching this week was 300 stitches because it was called for 3 days. I did go slightly over that. I went to 342 stitches, which puts me at 95.53%. 95%. Again, sorry for all of the dangling threads on this because I am using the parking method. There's a lot kind of in the way, but here is what this pancakes look like right now. It's really coming along. So I'm going to zoom in here a little bit and let you know. So this diagonal right here is the one that I finished from last week. And then I came up here to the top and started on this next diagonal. Now that next diagonal there, that's like the last full diagonal. So there's only a small section beyond that to continue going. So that diagonal right here, it comes all the way down to about here. So I'll have all that to fill in, and then there's just a slight one here on the side. So it's really coming along. I think I have under 500 stitches left to go in this piece. So getting very, very close. And I actually have to say, I am enjoying pulling this back out now that it's so close to a finish. But again, when I get to the end of those couple hundred stitches for temperature stitching, I'm ready to put it away. And I just can't get myself to go to the finish. So I think I'm just going to continue with temperature stitching and let it dictate when I finish this, but all it needs is 5 more days, 5 more days to be called, and this will be a finish. So we'll keep seeing this and I'll keep making you hungry. But the other thing someone mentioned was, you know, Pancake Day is coming up. I think it's February 17th this year, maybe. Don't quote me on that if I'm wrong, but it's coming up in February. I did think it would be really fun to sort of have this piece completed on Pancake Day and maybe even have pancakes for dinner that night. I know some of you agreed that you would like to have pancakes for dinner and that that's a yummy thing. So I thought that would kind of be fun. So we'll see how temperature stitching kind of works out leading up to that date. But if I get close to the 17th and it's still not finished, I may just kind of push myself a little further to finish this on Pancake Day. So you'll see soon. But this is stitched on a 20 count black Aida. I'm using all the called for DMC, and I am using 2 strands over 1 Aida cloth. And yeah, I just love it. It looks so realistic. I cannot wait to have this hanging on my wall. And I just love it. I love pancakes and I love this piece. What can I say? That is the update on pancakes. All right, and the next piece I pulled out was the Fruits of Plenty. This is from Modern Folk Embroidery, and you all know this piece very well, but I will still show you the picture. This is a beautiful piece designed by Jacob. Obviously the model was in blues. I'm doing mine in greens. And the reason I pulled this out this week is I think it was a day when I had just finished my pancake stitching and I was just so tired of the confetti. I needed something easy and simple to be stitching. Fruits of Plenty is my go-to for that. So I definitely will need another piece like Fruits of Plenty when that is over because it's so nice having a go-to comfort piece where you don't have to think too much about the stitching. You can just enjoy it. This is 32 count fabric, so that it's really easy for me to see. And I just really, really enjoy that piece. And it's easy to pick up with only 2 colors of floss. So that's why I picked it up this week. But I will put a little video in here of where it was when I started the week. Here is my starting point for Fruits of Plenty. And I think probably I will be working on this section right in through here. Keep that going down. Maybe I'll try to bring this border all the way down, work on this triangle a little bit. But you will see where I get to this week. And on Fruits this week, I was able to add in 611 stitches, and that puts me at 79.07%. Now that seems like a big jump from last time I think I told you the percentage, and that is because I finally marked off all of the center motifs in the chart. So 79.07% is an accurate representation of where I'm at now. So I am really close to the 80% mark, which feels like a big milestone for a piece like this. So anyway, I will show you now Fruits of Plenty. This is what it looks like so far. It's really coming along. Look how beautiful this is. When I look at a piece like this, I still can't believe I stitched all of this. It's just so massive. I I just absolutely love it. So now what did I work on this time? Well, if you've been here a while, you might notice the one thing I did was I added in my last name initial, S. So I have now put in both initials here in this section, AS, and I had been putting that off for a little while because, you know, there is some counting and some figuring out involved with the letter because the letters are not charted. He gives you the full alphabet to use, but they're not charted in the main chart, so you kind of have to figure out where they are placed and everything. And I just took some time this week and decided I'm going to fill that in. So that's what I did. And then the rest of the stitching I did was over here, and I worked on this light green section, bringing it down a little bit further over here, working on kind of this main section here. And I also started on this triagonal. That's the mix between a triangle and a diagonal, a triagonal. Anyway, I worked on this triangle here and filled in a lot of these darker stitches. I also brought some of this border down a little bit further here, and I think that's all I did. I think I had all of this completed last time, so I think I mainly worked on this side here, but that was the 600 stitches, and yeah, I hope to keep pulling this out little by little, and you'll know soon whether it was the WIP choice or not. I'll get into that as we get into plans, but yeah, this is stitched on a 32 count smoky white linen from Zweigart, and I'm using two DMC colors. The dark green is 890 and the light green is, is it 320? I should know this by heart by now. 320, I think. But if you have any questions, let me know. And that is Fruits of Plenty. All right, and the final WIP I have for you this week is a special one that I was really excited to get back to and make some progress on, and that is Woodland Enchantress from Dimensions. So I'm using the full Dimensions kit here. This is what she looks like, Woodland Enchantress. This is, yeah, such a beautiful, beautiful kit. I love her dress. There's so much I love about it. I love the trees in the background, all of the details in this piece. It's a very, very detailed piece, and I am just scratching the surface of it. So I think I have a video, so I will put a video in here where I was when I started the week. All right, so I decided to pull out Woodland Enchantress. I know so many people are getting snow this weekend, and so I figured why not work on a snowy scene with her. So I will probably keep working in the parked threads here to continue the top of her dress here, top of her bodice, and that's probably where I'll work, although I am kind of tempted to do some more of the background fill-in, so maybe I'll come in over here and fill in some background, or maybe I'll work up here around the staff, so you'll see. But I'm excited to kind of get this back out and get some more progress. Last time I worked on it, I worked on this sleeve, and I think it looks great. So I could also backstitch her hand, backstitch the sleeve, could also work at the French knots in her hair. So you'll see what I decide to do, but I'm excited. And this week, this is approximate stitching, but I was able to add approximately 1,750 stitches into this piece, which is awesome. I got a lot of progress. Some of that were half stitches, which I count a stitch as if the box of the X is crossed off, then that counts as a stitch. Whether that was a half stitch or a full stitch or a quarter stitch, still counts in my book. So anyway, 1,750 stitches approximately. That puts me just over the 40% mark on this piece, which is super, super exciting. So not quite at 50%, but getting there, and seeing some really decent progress on her. So you saw where I was last time. Let's show where I got to. Here is my progress on Woodland Enchantress. Now, the first thing you will notice is I finished her other sleeve, this huge section right in here to match the sleeve on the other side. That is now completed. I also brought down her dress here in these beautiful blues. You'll also notice that these gold stitches in here, if it will focus, there we go. They are half stitches, which is super, super cool. Sorry if that's a little blurry. There we go, that's a little better. But those gold and tan stitches in her dress are half stitches, which is super, super, super cool. That just adds a bunch of dimension to her dress as it is, which is awesome. So I brought that down. I also did a big section of her hair that goes under her arm here, and there's a little bit of hair over here coming out. She's got very long, beautiful brown hair, and I love that. And what else did I work on? Oh, this section over here under the post. I brought in a lot of the background half stitches over here. That was probably a big chunk of what I did. With this background, it is wild how many stitches go into that. When you are working on a section like this, it just feels never ending, that you're never going to end those half crosses. And yet, yeah, it looks really good. I do like the effect of it, but it's a lot of stitching. So yeah, here she is. I thought this week that I was going to get into some back stitching on her, but I didn't this week. And it mostly because I just wasn't in the right headspace for it. I really, to do some back stitching or French knots, I have to be in the mindset of like, this is going to be difficult and I need to sit down and have some time with it. And each night I thought, tonight's the night I'm going to do it. And then I would sit down to stitch and I was just not in the mood for it. So I just kept stitching crosses or half crosses, whatever I was in the mood for. But I really do want to get into the back stitching now, because now that both sleeves are completed, there's similar back stitching on both sides of the sleeve here. And so once I get one strand out, I can just work on this sleeve and then come over here and work on this one as well. There's also a lot more back stitching in her hair. There's some French knots that go around there. So I'd like to get that part completed. I think a big part of the back stitching and kind of specialty stitches and things are right here in her top. So I would like to get that kind of completed before I move on to the other sections, because I don't want to save all the back stitching and things for the end. And since that's a large portion, there's also a lot in her dress too, but just this section, there's a lot. So I'd like to kind of work on that the next time I pull it out. But I think she's absolutely lovely. Again, I'm using all the kit materials. So this is an 18 count blue-gray Aida, and I'm using all the kit floss, and I'm doing it with all the strands that are called for. So sometimes it's 4 strands half cross, sometimes it's 2 strands full cross, sometimes it's 1 strand back stitching, it just kind of depends. But I'm doing all the called for from the kit, and I absolutely love it. It's such a reminder for me of how much I love kits and why I have so many kits in my stash at home in New York, because I just really enjoy working on them. It's nice that all the materials are there for you already. I love the challenge of the kits because there's a lot of, you know, not necessarily confetti stitching, but a lot of color changes and a lot of just meticulous detail in the way that you're stitching. And again, I'm using the parking method, so I've got a lot of dangling threads here, but yeah, that's just kind of how I like processing a stitch like this, and I like working in it. And yeah. So again, I'm about 40%. I think the page mark is about here. I think this is the bottom of the first row of pages. So once I get down to there over here, that will probably put me at the 50% mark, and then we'll go down further to finish the piece. But this was really, really nice to pull back out and see some more progress on. I'm happy to now be at 40% because I think this is a WIP now that is over 2 years old. I think I started this in 2024, like January of 2024, maybe even Christmas of 23. So, but it's definitely over 2 years old now, and it's nice to like at least be this far. I wish I was further, but I'm glad to see some decent progress, especially on her, because now that she's taking shape, it's kind of even more fun for me to pull out and see the progress. But again, here is what she looks like. The sleeves are done. Yeah, she's really, really coming along. So I hope you enjoyed that, Woodland Enchantress. All right, and those are all the WIPs I have for you this week. So that's the stitching I got completed. I was very happy with another great stitching week, and probably I'm gonna have another good stitching week because it is supposed to stay cold here in Florida, and I don't think I will be doing a lot this weekend. And so I will probably be home stitching, which should be a lot of fun. I'm excited about that. Let's move on to plans then for the week. So obviously Saga will continue. I'm gonna try to get my weekly stitches in on that. And then temperature stitching. I'm going to be continuing with Treasury of Compassion and continuing with Stack of Pancakes. And then last week I had you vote on a which WIP category. So the vote was between Mr. and Mrs. Claus from the Atlanta kit or the Fruits of Plenty. And when those two WIPs came up, I thought, oh, for sure, Fruits of Plenty is gonna win. There's no question here. And I was so happy to see how many of you loved the Mr. and Mrs. Claus kit. So the race was a lot closer than I thought. In total, we had 71 votes for the Fruits of Plenty and 67 votes for Mr. and Mrs. Claus. So it was only off by 4 votes. Every vote counts. And but yeah, it was so close. So anyway, the Fruits of Plenty was the winner. So that will go into my new temperature stitching goal for 1,000 stitches for the WIP category. I will put a picture of the new chart in here for you now, but Treasury of Compassion was called for 2 days, so that will get 200 stitches. Pancakes were only called for 1 day, so only 100 stitches. That will linger out a little bit longer. And the new WIP, Fruits of Plenty, that got called for 4 days already. So 400 stitches will go into Fruits of Plenty this week, which will be a lot of fun. Now, if you voted for Mr. and Mrs. Claus and you are sad that it's not going to be in the WIP category, don't be sad for too long, because we got the new WIP Go numbers for February, and I'm excited to share with you that the first piece that I'll be working on for WIP Go is Mr. and Mrs. Claus. So that will get 500 stitches. So I don't know what my next piece will be after that, but until I get 500 stitches on this, I'm not going to move forward into another WIP Go goal. So Mr. and Mrs. Claus will still come out. I'm not sure if it will be this week. Actually, it probably won't be this week because February doesn't start until Sunday. But once February begins, Mr. and Mrs. Claus will be coming out for 500 stitches. So if you voted for that, you will get to see it. And I'm really excited to get back to that because I really did enjoy working on that Christmas tree over the holidays. And it'll be fun to get some more progress on that piece. So I'm really glad that more of you enjoyed that than I thought maybe you would. And other than that, those are the only plans I've got. So I think the rest of my stitching will just kind of be what I feel like working on, what my mind is capable of doing. And yeah, we'll see which project I pick up and get a little more progress in. So stay tuned for that. The only other thing I wanted to share is a little bit of stitchy kindness, and kind of stitchy kindness, but also just a stitchy win, I guess, for me. There is a Mirabilia Facebook group that was doing a giveaway on there for the pattern Fairy Moon by Mirabilia, and I put my name in the hat just because I figured, why not? I should try it. I really like this pattern, and I don't own it. I didn't have it off of eBay or anything, and I'm happy to say I was the winner. I was so surprised. My friend Allie from Allie Z is Crafty, she messaged me and said, do you know you're the winner of this piece? And like sent me a screenshot of the Facebook post, which I hadn't even seen because I'm very rarely on Facebook. But I was so happy to receive this kit. So this is, not kit, this pattern. This is Fairy Moon by Mirabilia, and she is just absolutely beautiful. I really, really, really like her. Someday we'll get to stitching her. And along with that came some little stitchy goodies, which were so fun. The person who sent this sent a little John James needle, which was awesome. They sent this needle threader bird here, which is so cool. I've never tried one of these before. I didn't take it out of the package yet, but I'm gonna try it, see how it is. And then they sent me this like whole DMC package of beads, all these multicolored beads in here, which is so fun. I'm sure, you know, as I love beading, so I'm sure I will find a good use for these beads. But that was a really fun surprise to win that and have that sent here in Florida, and I thought I would share it all with you. I'm doing pretty well on my no buy for right now, especially with not having the finances to be purchasing as much right now. So that has been going good. I'm happy working on what I have currently, and this was a nice little way to kind of ease that, where I didn't make a purchase and yet I still got a new pattern. So that was a lot of fun. But Nashville is coming up, and there are some great new things coming out, especially the new X-Stitch the Rainbow Threads pack. I think it's from Cottage Garden Samplings this year, or Cottage Garden Threads, and they are beautiful. It's an ocean theme, and they're beautiful, beautiful colors. At first I wasn't sure if I was going to buy them or not, but now I feel like I'm being enabled by everyone around me, and I do want to buy them. I'm sure the patterns are going to be lovely as well. But I'm sure there's going to be lots of goodies coming out of Nashville. If you've seen any previews of things that you like, let me know what you're seeing so far and what you're interested in. Also be watching for Lindy Stitch's channel on Flosstube, because she will be doing a deep dive into all the Nashville new releases, I'm sure, as she always does such a great job. I love watching her videos where she is showing the new product or the new patterns, because it's really fun. She has a great way of sharing them. But if you know what you're eyeing up or wanting to purchase already this year, let me know. I think also there's a new Tiny Modernist Queen that will be released. She sort of teased that a little bit at the Jingle Ball. Anyway, I think that's all I've got for you this week. So thank you again for spending some time with me. I really appreciate it. And yeah, I hope you have a wonderful week, the best week that you can available. And I think the important thing right now is that we just remember kindness and love. And I think those are the two things we need more of in this world, is just to be kind to everyone and to love everyone. And I think I'll leave it at that. So keep running if you're a runner. Always keep stitching and be kind to whoever you meet on your journey. Bye for now. Until the next stitch.